Hi, so this is the making quick cards part of the Christmas event. I thought I'd be fair, and we're going to do one stamping and one on scan and cut. So we're going to make this, and I'm going to show you how to make it. To be fair, if you've got a post box that you'd rather use, then by all means go ahead and use that. But I'll just show you how to make a quick one. So you can go ahead and do it if you want to. I want that shape. And that one. And that one. Okay, so we've got the square, and that's how we're going to do the border and make sure that we're all right there. Now first, the rectangle needs to be turned 90 degrees because we want it standing up. These we need two, so I'll tell you what, let's size it first so we've got it the same size. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Okay, so then we layer duplicate, because we actually need one at the top and one at the bottom. I think that one could be a bit more squashed. Okay, and then if you hold them all, we want to make sure they're centered, so we've got them in the right place, and weld. Okay, I'm going to undo it because I did forget something important. We need another one. Duplicate. Sorry guys. Okay, so that was centered already, so we'll weld that. Now, to show this bit here, what we're going to do is use the nodes. Now this is very quick, this one. We want to open up like here, and then we want to get rid of that one, and then what we're going to do, this one we want to add, and then we're going to get rid of that one because it's shorter. We don't want it going all the way out, we need it shorter. And we'll do the same here. I need to press that one to get an add. You need the line for an add, and then we're going to get rid of that one. There we go. So we've got the line we want. If you click off, so the nodes are gone, and then offset 0.04 outward, delete original line, and there you go. That is what we needed. Now we're going to, I wonder if that will look a bit silly there. Let's have a look. Actually, I like it there. And we're going to duplicate. And put one there. Okay, and then we're going to grab it all and center it. And then I think we'll remove overlap so it's out of the way. There we go. Now obviously we want somewhere for the post to go. That looks about right, you think? We'll come down a little bit. Again, go over all of it and make sure that you've centered it. So it's this one because it's centered down the middle, so that the other one will make sure everything is centered across. So I've done that. Again, we will remove the overlap. But what I'm going to do is keep hold of that for a second. Okay. Still looks a bit lost to me. So what I decided to do was make like a notice board like it would have on there. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to center it so that I know it's dead in the center. And then we are going to subtract this time. Oh. Tell you what happened there. This bit has to be at the front and it's not. The bit that you want to subtract, that shape has to be on the front, otherwise it will not work. So subtract, there we go, and then divide so that they're two separate pieces. Because then what we have to do is each one, we just want to open it up. And then we're going to offset. Same thing, very small, delete original mark. And we're going to do it for both of them. Now if we get them together. That's got to be a bit smaller. Doesn't feel like that's centered. Let's have a look. Oh yeah. What we need to do is group them first so that they don't center on each other. I'm just going to pull it in a little bit. I feel like it's too wide. Okay. So let's try that. Center. That's better. And remove overlap. Okay, now this will be the letter. I'll tell you what I'll do. If we colour it, makes it look so much better. I don't know why, but it does. It's a very simple post box. Like I said, if you've got a more detailed one, or you could do a more detailed one, then obviously go right ahead. Okay. So we want this to look like an envelope, we're going to use the path tool, and we're just going to do 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do the same with that we done with all the other little lines we got. So we need the middle deleted, because there we go. I was just making sure it was alright. And remove overlap. So, there you go. Then we're left with the envelope, pretty big one, so let's downsize it, and so that we can see that, we are going to make it white. You could do it whatever colour you like, it doesn't have to be white, does it? And we want it so that it will, actually, what about the other way? No, that way. So that when we do it, we can just tuck it under there. The other thing I was thinking, I'm wondering if that will look better with its own offset, but leave it as it is, and we'll do it on an 08. Outward though, I was just thinking, and then that, if it just had a black, or you could do silver or gold or whatever, you know. Send it to the back. Maybe what I'd do is take a chunk out of there. So if we get another rectangle, see, I'm changing it along the way. Apologies. I just think it might look better. Right. And then we move this one out the way. Then we can pick them two and do remove overlap. Let's see if that looks a bit better. Okay. Yeah, I think I prefer that, but obviously it's up to you if you want to do it or not. So that's our postbox and our letter. I think that still needs to be a bit smaller. And then the poinsettias. Now, just ungroup this. I really don't feel you need to make your own poinsettias. There's so many out there, free or otherwise, that you can download, or you might have some already made. I know I have. But just make sure you size them up so they fit on the card, okay? So it's like the next thing we're going to do, I know I want to do a 6x6 card because of posting and all that, but my cards measure 5 3/4 because the envelopes themselves are 6x6, so the cards have to be a little bit smaller to fit in. So that is my card base. And then I want one that's 5.5, and then I'm going to duplicate that, and this one we want at just 5. let's just duplicate that. Okay, so this one we'll do white. I'm just doing the colours just so that you can see it for yourself, because sometimes looking at the drawings they just don't seem to match. Now these two, it's Tracy being a skinflint, we want to centre them both ways and remove overlap. And then this one we are going to colour the same as the post box. Okay, this one we need to do at 5 1/4. And make that white again. So when we put it all together, bring it to the front if it's gone back, and then if you grab all the squares and just centre them all so that they look cool. So let's centre them. Bring it to the front and just needs to be a bit smaller with the card. If that happens, if you go to layers, you can usually find the shape you want. There we go, let's do it there. Rather than unsettling everything you've just done to find it. Okay, so we want that going in like that. Maybe a bit smaller. There we go. And then what I was thinking, as you can see, we've got our sentiment. I like from our home to yours. You can muck around with the fonts and do whatever you like. I am going to do it in pen though. I'm not going to cut it out. I prefer drawing it. And I have that new Sharpie holder. Oh, have any of you seen that? It is amazing. So I might use that. I'm not sure yet. What did I do this at? 250. So you'd have your sentiment there with a bit of backing, and then you'd put your flowers over the top. Like this. So there, and now all you've got to do is separate it out. Now the thing I find best about this, if you first separate your colours, so we have that in red, that's the only black we have. That's a white. That's a white. We've got, that's a red. Let's do, and that should be, okay, so that one's a red. And this one's a white. So it will go over like that. Okay, so we've got that red. And then that's the card, so you haven't got to worry about that. So we can kind of delete that. That's just to make sure it all fits nicely together. Flowers are obviously red. We have a little green on its own with the leaves if you're doing that as well. So you know that when you do the red, you've got to fit all this in. Don't like wasting it, so we've got all this space in here that we can use. And look, we can cut out, actually I think we might be able to do it all the red. Yeah, look, 2 flowers. We could obviously fit more flowers in. And then you can, if you times that by 4 if you've got a 12 by 12, or 2 if you've got an A4, then that's just cutting it out and then cutting out the white and putting it all together. It's that simple. So I've shown you how to do that, and then I will see you over at the craft table. So I've cut everything out and we're now over at the craft table just to put it together. Oh, these nails. Okay, so I've got a 6x6 card. And it's really simple now. However many you cut out, I've just cut out one just to show you. However many you cut out, you just do it on a conveyor now, don't you? So I don't know what people's preference is. Mine is always glue. You got the movability. And it does stick better. Sometimes in a dry room the tape can come undone, I've found, and your card fall apart. Right, it's nice because there's no real waste there. So this is just very simple cut and stick. I forgot to take the colour out of my sentiment, so it's done it coloured in. I was going to colour it afterwards. I'm still quite happy with it though. See, now that would have gone wrong with tape, wouldn't it? So there's always easy ways of making Christmas cards that you know are not gonna... These are for the people that don't really appreciate what it takes to make them a card. I don't know about you guys, but I got plenty of them. Ooh, just. Okay, make sure I'm doing it the right way round. So we've got the post box there. I'll put that there. I need a little pad for my letter. And obviously you don't have to use pads if you're worried about stamping. Although, what do you get? Before a large letter, you're allowed 0.5 mils. So I've used a 0.2 and then a 0.1, so it's still only 0.3. There we go, that's it. So, and then rather than cut the flowers out, I had some of these left from last year, would you believe? So I thought I would use them. I'm not going to use, I think I use the all stick for that, just a bit more grip this, for the embellishments and things that are harder to stick. You could use hot glue if you're impatient. I'm just curling that up so it doesn't get in the way. There we go. We want the white one in the middle, like that. Got glue on the end. So there we go. That's our simple, easy to make card on the scan and cut. Now I said I'd do one printing, stamping even, printing. So, of course you could also do the one that I've already done with you with the swirly trees. So you cut 4 swirly trees, which in effect gives you 8 cards. So that's a good one as well. Okay, so the one I'm using, it's indigo blue. They're the main stamps I've got because I really trust their stamps, and you can do a lot with them and knock them around. So this one is Winter Wonderland, and I am going to so what I want is 2 squares. I should have prepared this, save us time, but so the card is 5 3/4 because the envelope is 6. So what I thought, 5 3/4, so I want one that's 5 1/2, and one that's 5 1/4. There we go. So I'm using VersaFine ink. I like the green. I think it goes very well as Christmas trees. So had to stamp, remember. Now I'm not really worried about the edges because I don't squash the stamp down, but if you are, you just wipe it away. I mean, before you stamp. You don't need to, I'll be honest, if you do it right, but if you're worried about it, then that's what you do. Okay, so I want it on the smaller of the two cards. There we go. And then on the smaller one, I've just gone for the very simple basic Merry Christmas. Now when you're doing your pad, your writing stamps, remember to do it back to front. I don't know if that, actually I'll tell you what we'll do, we do it like this. So it'll be Merry Christmas. There we go. Okay. So these you could just line up a load of squares, just stamp on it. There we go. Just very simple. Now I want this to be the same colour. So rather than try and match a piece of card, all I'm going to do actually it's probably easier to do it this way. Don't worry about how messy it is, because most of it's going to be hidden. Nice and messy. So there's the topper, and now what I want to do is just add some glitter extras to it, on the snowflakes, I think. Just some little, you haven't really got to be spot on, but some glitter accents, that's all you want. Not too much. As you can see, I'm not being extra careful. Let's just do it onto there. Just a tiny bit of sparkle onto it. And then just stick it onto the card. This I'm going to do totally flat. I don't think it needs any height, personally. Which again helps with postage if you've got a lot to post out. So, and there you go. Easy stamping card. A little bit of glitter on it to give it a bit of extra oomph. Or doing it with the scan and cut. So that's 2 easy cards. There's another one I had, and it's was the night before Christmas. So the words you could just stamp out. Let's do it and see how it comes out. This is an unused stamp actually. I've never actually gotten around to using it. So I'm going to use the same colour just to give it a go. I'm going to rub it like, can you see? Yeah. I'm going to rub it like that because it's a new stamp and I've never used it. Is that going to fit? Ooh. So I was thinking about this after I'd organised the other 2, but I thought if I just show you very quickly. So if you had this on like an A6 card, cut round it, back it with the same colour card, and then just in the middle of that, cut out a greeting, you know, from our house to yours, Merry Christmas, Season's Greetings, Winter Magic, whatever. And that's also another card that's really easy done and sorted. Okay, so that's the end of this one, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.